Hey everyone, welcome back to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith, and this is...
Luke Smith.
What?
I'm here again.
Unbelievable. If you do not recognize this person, it's not a smaller version of Pep. This is Luke Smith, my son, who has done many, many episodes with me, but has been on an extended break because he's been doing school and other activities and so on. He's on summer break, though, so we've got him back for an episode. We're going to play through Cry Havoc.
Cry Havoc.
And we played this game a bunch, haven't we, Luke?
Oh, yeah, we have.
6, 7 times, maybe?
Yep.
And how many times have I won?
Zero.
0 times. I kid you not. 0 times I have won. Apparently, I'm terrible at this game.
Noted.
Or he's just exceptionally good. Either way, I'm going to do my best to give you a run for your money in this playthrough with the viewers. You guys are going to help me out. Clearly, I'm the one who needs it most. So let's go to the table and we'll get started. Now we have everything set up and ready to go, but before we get started, let's quickly introduce you to the factions that we're using.
So my faction is the humans, and I like to gain control of territories as quickly as possible, and sometimes I don't even need to be in the region to gain control of it.
Yeah, Luke can spread into regions before he even has to move in there himself. He's like a human disease that spreads across the map. And I'm these pilgrims here, and some of their cards allow me to draw new cards when I play them, keeping my hand replenished.
Okay, I think we're ready to get started with the event phase.
And that's done here. We'll go down the score track and resolve the first event token that we come across, which is right here at the top. Okay, this one says that we place 1 crystal into every region that doesn't have crystals. So there's 4 regions that we're going to be placing crystals into, making those areas even more lucrative.
Dad,
Yes.
did you make another mistake? And
How?
there's no Trog token in that region.
Oh, look at that. Luke's already
Nice.
correcting my mistakes. You see, there's supposed to be an exploration token and a Trog token here, and there isn't. Let me just grab one, and there we go. Thank you, Luke.
You're welcome.
The next thing we resolve is initiative, but for the first round, we don't have to do anything. We randomly drew this, and I'm going first, and then Luke.
Next, we have to refresh our skills, but we haven't used any yet, because it's just the start of the game, so...
Nothing to refresh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the next thing we actually do have to do, and that is to draw 4 cards. And we have our decks off the side of the screen here, but I'll just grab 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we'll look over what we have, decide what we're going to do, and go to the table and start taking actions. My pilgrims have landed on this planet. We're in our headquarters, but we're ready to start spreading out because we know those humans are over on the other side of the map, and we need to make our mark before they do. So I'm going to use our telepathic link. We're going to coordinate our movements to be very efficient. This is going to allow me to move one of my figures and then also draw a new card from my deck. But those links are expanding. We're going to play another one to move again, draw another card. And as we reach across the regions, we're going to also use our phase shift to move 2 more figures and then be able to change our order in the initiative. So with the movement points, I'm going to send these 3 pilgrims into the region here. There's 2 crystals here already, as well as a Trog war party. And this pilgrim will go into the region here, which is a little safer, no resistance. After moving, there are some steps you need to resolve. First, you flip over all exploration tokens, and I have one right here. Hopefully it's something amazing. Oh, this one's pretty good. It says to place up to 2 of my units from my reserve into this region.
Oh man.
Yes, before the main group landed, I had launched a pod ship to explore the planet, and so I found these other 2 that landed here earlier, and that's going to be very helpful for me later on.
They're holding hands. How lovely.
They are. It actually does look like they're holding hands. And they've got lots of hands. I don't know if you've noticed, but these guys have 4 hands each.
But only 3 fingers on each hand.
Right, so I don't know if that's going to help or hurt me. Next, we have to flip over any Trog War Party tokens or nests, and there's a War Party here. And it says, I need to add 2 Trog units and 2 crystals into this region, so a bit of resistance is being met here. And now, I gain control of any regions that only I'm occupying, which would be this one here. So I'll place a control token, and then I place battle tokens. And I've definitely initiated a battle here. So I'll place the number 1 battle token here, and one of my figures on it to show that I'm the attacker. Now to wrap up my turn, I should point out, I do have this ability here that would allow me to change my order in the upcoming initiative. But I'm in the first place, and I'd like to stay there, so I'm going to keep it as it is.
Well, maybe you should spin your tokens around so they face the right way.
Oh my goodness, you're right. I had them all upside down.
Yep,
Thank you, Luke.
nice.
Let me just correct that. The other benefit that I have, boy, it's good you're here, Luke. You're already proving your benefits.
Yep.
I can draw 2 new cards from my deck, which I will do. So those 2 come from the top of my own deck, and I'll add those to my hand. This could be why Luke's always beating me. He's apparently a little more observant than I am.
Maybe a little.
Okay, Luke. Well, what do you want to do for your first action?
Well, for my action, I'm sending out the Expeditionary Force to go out and find the rare Enable Scoring token. Once they've found it, they will put it in and enable scoring.
Wait a second, are you saying that your humans actually went out and found this specific token on the planet?
Oh yeah, it's humongous.
Okay, you've enabled scoring. That means at the end of this round, you will score 1 point for every region you control.
And we will both score points for crystals.
Luke loves to enable scoring. I won't always specifically point this out on screen, but after all players have taken an action, you then move the round action marker down 1.
So we're on our second action.
For my next action, I want to send out a pulse wave through this region that I have control of. I want to start preparing it for the construction I'm going to do there. Then I'm going to deploy some holos. Holos?
Hobos! Deploy the hobos!
I'm not deploying hobos. These will be some workers I'll send into the region. Because as you've probably guessed, I'm going to do some construction here using the tool symbols to build a harvester. This is one of the structures that I can place. It'll cost 2 of those symbols. I have 2 more. I'm only going to be able to use 1 of them because I want to activate this. And the harvester allows me to add 1 crystal from the supply to my personal pool. And this race on its main board has an area here for a crystal pool. It's the only race that has one, and so I'll place the crystal there. Don't forget, you can't activate a specific structure more than once per action, so I couldn't use that extra symbol that I have to activate the harvester a second time. So that ends my action.
For my next action, I'm going to play the card Drop Troopers and, well, drop 2 Troopers. Tongue twister, dang it.
It's pretty self-explanatory though, isn't it? You're dropping troopers in.
And I'm going to drop 2.
Right, because there's 2 recruit symbols there. Well, that's a simple turn. Yours is over.
Now we'll advance the round action marker.
My third and final action is going to be pretty straightforward. I just want a new card in my hand. So I can draw 2 either from my own deck or from one of the Terrain Tactics decks. Then I choose one of those to keep and the other I shuffle back into the deck that I took from. I want to take from this deck particularly. It's going to boost my ability to recruit, but it's also terrain of this type. And I'm going to have a battle in this kind of region here, which also matches that symbol. So I know I could potentially use its battle effect there as well. So these I'll have to take a quick look at on my own, decide which one I want to keep. And yeah, I think I'm going to keep this one here, and the other I'll shuffle back into this deck. So again, the one that I took, I actually get to add directly to my hand, and that's going to be useful, hopefully, for later. Luke, now it's your turn.
Well, I'm calling in the Air Cavalry and the Engineering team to help me move 5 spaces.
That is a ton of movement, and you've got all your guys in one area, so I have a sense your headquarters are spreading out now.
Yes.
Who's going where, Luke?
Well, this one is going all alone to Darkwald.
And it's just got an Explore token here, so it's pretty safe.
Yeah. Then I'm sending 2 here.
Yes.
And 2 over here. And I'll leave this guy at the headquarters to tidy up.
This guy here?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now you get to resolve some Explore tokens. Which one do you want to start with?
I'll go over here.
Okay, I'll flip it for you. And this one says, ooh, you can place 2 crystals into any region.
Woo!
Where do you want to put them?
Oh, I'm going to put him with my guy, actually.
Okay, so he found even more crystals than he realized.
Yep.
You have another Explore token here, and this one says, oh, you get to draw 1 Terrain Tactics card. Now let's just move your units so you can see what kind of regions you're in.
I want a mountain region over there.
Okay, that is going to be useful in either of these, and you can't see it, but it's one of the decks down here, so we'll give Luke this to add to his hand. Now we have some Trog tokens to resolve. Let's flip both of them and see what you'll be facing.
Oh.
Oh, this one is going to be rough. 3 Trogs, but 3 crystals, so
That's
if you
good.
win it, it'll really be worth it. This one will be a little easier to manage. 2 Trogs and 2, wow, 1 crystal just went flying into this region. So Luke, you get to place 2 battle tokens. Where would you like to put token number 2?
I'd like to put it in here.
Okay, so we'll resolve this one second in the battles, and that means this one will be the 3rd battle to be resolved.
Yes.
And that ends Luke's turn.
Except I'm going to use a skill.
Oh, okay, let's zoom in and take a look at what this does.
This card, Recon Forces, lets me take 1 Terrain Tactic card for every spot that the humans are the attackers.
And you're currently the attacker in 2 locations?
So I'm getting 2 cards.
That's huge. With the battles you've got in front of you, that's going to be really helpful. So what decks do you want to take from Luke?
I want an ocean card
Okay.
and a desert card.
All right, so these 2 go directly into Luke's hand. And don't forget, skills when used are put on their side to show that they cannot be used again during this same round. So all 3 of the actions have been resolved. Now it's time to resolve battles. And the battle token labeled 1 is here, so the first battle will be in this region. Luke, what's the first thing we do in a battle?
We add a crystal.
That's right, so this is going to be even a more valuable location to fight over. So I want to make sure I win majority here. And I'm going to place all 3 of my pilgrims into the majority area of the battle board. Now Luke gets to decide where the Trogs are going.
Well, I'm going to take the 2 Trogs and I'll put one on prisoner and one on attrition.
This makes me think Luke knew, even with the cards he had in hand, he couldn't help the Trogs win on majority, and that's good.
But I'm gonna make sure you pay for it.
Right. I have the first opportunity to play cards from my hand, and I am tempted because I think I could stop Luke from taking one of my characters prisoner. But in past experience from playing against Luke, he usually ends up with a handful of cards and I have none left. I'm going to hang on to the ones I have and save them for next round. Now, Luke, you have the opportunity to play cards from your hand if you want to.
No, thank you.
And that means the battle is over and we'll resolve this board. So I've clearly won majority. That will give me 2 points that I'll move down to here, and I'll place my control token into the region. Luke, or I guess the Trogs, are going to take one of my figures captive, so I'll place it on the side of the board in a little Trog prison that we'll have.
And the last one will kill one of your pilgrims.
Right, so this one will go into my reserve, and the remaining one will go into the region that I captured. The Trog figures will leave the board going back into the reserve, but the way they retreat is by placing one of their nest tokens into an adjacent region. And Luke, as the Trogs, you get to decide where they go.
Well, I think I'd like to put them right next to your base.
Oh, that's mean. This is going to make it much harder for me to take over this location. And with the battle resolved, we can remove this token.
On to battle number 2.
And the first thing we'll do is we'll add a crystal into this region, and I could tell we were running out of green crystals. So I swapped out 5 of them from the center with this one red crystal, which is worth 5. Now, Luke, as the attacker, you get to place your figures first on the battle board.
I'm going to take my 2 humans and put them both on the attrition.
Well, this is a surprise. Because,
It is?
you know what, maybe not so much. Because if you put 2 as majority here, I could have put 2 and defenders win ties, and then I would have majority. But this means I could actually leave majority blank if I want to, because again, we'd be tied and I would still win. And when I say I would win, I mean, of course, the Trogs. Which makes me think you're scheming something. Let me think here. Due to the magic of editing, you don't realize how long I've been sitting here thinking about where I want to place these 2 Trogs. I think I'm going to put one in majority, just to make it a little harder for him to get that in case he pulls some shenanigans. And I'm going to place one on prisoner, so I have the ability to remove one of these attritions, leaving one behind that even if he kills this one, I will still have majority. I don't know. No, I'll lock in at this. Luke, over to you.
Well, I'm going to play the card Outflank.
What's this going to do, Luke?
Well, I can move up to 2 of my soldiers from any battle objective to a different battle objective.
Oh, this is good. Okay, so where are you going to go now?
I'm going to move my 2 soldiers to region control.
Okay, so you're bringing them up to the top. This will go into Luke's discard pile. This is tricky. I have 2 cards in hand. So does Luke. I could take a gamble that maybe playing one would give the Trogs the position they need to win majority still, but this is the challenge. I'm spending resources that I might need later, or I could let Luke win this one and know I'm going to take one of his figures prisoner, leaving him weak in the region he's won. Luke, I'm not going to play a card into this battle.
I'm not going to play another.
So Luke, you definitely won majority, and that's going to give you 2 points. We're tied once again. One of your control tokens will go into this region, but the Trogs are going to take one of your humans prisoner, so we'll put this one in the Trog prison. No attrition here, and you will enter the region that you've controlled. And the Trogs are going to retreat, but there's nowhere for this Trog nest token to retreat into, because this region here and this one are already controlled by other players, me. And that will end the second battle, and we'll move on to the third one. The first thing we'll do in this battle is add a crystal to this region. And Luke, you have control of this one already, and we forgot to put a token there, so let's do that now. All right, pal, you have your work cut out for you. You have 2 humans, and I have 3 Trogs. What do you want to do?
Well, I'm going to take my brave humans and put them onto majority.
Well, that is very brave or crazy.
Brave.
Well, we'll see. I have 3 Trogs. I'm not going to fool around. I'm going to put them right on top of this majority objective. I do not want you claiming this location. You're going to have to rely on battle cards at this point if you want to change things up.
And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the card Regroup.
Even in a game without dice, Luke is still lucky, because this is one of the ones you drew from the terrain tactics, right? And so you had to have one that matched the symbol, and you do. This one is really powerful for you right now because it allows you to take 1 unit from each adjacent non-battle region and move it into the battle region, or rather onto a battle objective. So you can move either or both. What are you going to do here?
I'm going to move both.
Even the guy who's tidying up in the headquarters?
Yes, he's done his job.
Okay. Where do you want to put them?
I'm going to take both of them and join the other 2 guys.
Right. Put them on the majority objective. Okay. Let me look at my hand, see if there's anything I can do here. Luke, I've looked, and there's nothing in my hand that's going to change the outcome of this battle.
Yes.
You've won majority here, and that's going to give you 2 points.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll move into the lead. I know you guys can't see the score track, but right now Luke's got 4 points and I have 2. He's also sent these Trogs packing. They're going to have to retreat. So Luke, we now have a nest token that you have to place.
Wow.
And it would need to go in an uncontrolled region. I would recommend the center.
I would recommend there.
Rats, okay. So Luke wants me to put it into a territory that I'm close to and could have potentially taken over much more easily last time. Not now. And Luke's units move into this region he's now taking control of with all these gems here.
Yes, indeed. All those gems for me.
There's too many gems there. And we'll remove this final battle token. Well, now it's time for us to score and take back prisoners. The only faction that has prisoners are these Trogs, and they have one of Luke's and one of mine.
But they don't get any points for that.
Right, because the Trogs can't win. They don't get any points for having prisoners. But we could, in turn order, choose to buy back our prisoners for 2 victory points each. I'm not willing to spend the victory points right now.
Me neither.
No, we're going to leave both of them to languish there with the Trogs.
Oh, yeah.
And now, because there's an enable scoring token here, we're actually going to have a scoring phase.
And because it's mine, I get a point for every region that I control.
Speaking of which, we'd better put one of your tokens into this region that you just won control of. So that's going to make a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 additional points for that.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4. And now all the players will get 1 point for each crystal in regions that they control. Luke, I think you have a bunch.
Lots.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Woo!
13 plus 8 is 21. So we're going to have to put this all the way down here. Now, because we crossed over this event token, it's actually going to move and go on top of the next one. And how many points did I get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Good job, Dad.
Thanks so much. 6 plus 2 is 8. Well, I've clearly got some catching up to do. We'll remove this token and that will end the round. So as we head into the next round, let's resolve these events. So the first one here says, oh, each player gets to draw 1 terrain tactics card. So Luke and I will each take a moment to do that now, and then we'll resolve the next event. Okay, the next event says, oh my goodness, so we can draw another card, this time from any deck. Just so you guys know, I ended up taking a card from the mountain and from the oceans.
And I took a card from the jungle and the mountains.
Now, normally we would update the initiative, but there hasn't been a change here, so that will stay the same. And then skills would be refreshed, and Luke did use one of his skills, Recon Forces, which we'll put upright, and now he can use it again this round.
The next phase, we draw 4 cards.
Right. I only have 2 left in my deck, so I'll have to shuffle my discard pile and then draw 2 more.
I have exactly 4 in my deck.
Oh, perfect.
Perfect.
Oh, you know what? That reminds me. We can only have at most 7 cards in our hand at this point. So if we have any more than that, we'll have to discard. I have exactly 7.
Exactly 7.
Wow, you guys are going to have a lot of cards to look at because I'm turning things over to you. I'm going to let you look at our structures, our abilities, the cards in my hand. Help me decide what we're going to do. I'm happy to say
You're doing very good at losing, Dad.
this is the best losing I've done so far.
I know.
The gap between us.
I'm so proud.
Thanks, son. It's so great to have you back here.
Ow.
This is probably the closest we've been after round 1. So maybe you can help me close the gap even further. Maybe even get past Luke. I don't know. I don't want to ask for the impossible here. So again, take a look over everything here. Let us know in the comments below what you think I should do for my next turn. You can even propose, here's what you should be aiming for with your next 2 actions. You don't have to worry about just the first one. If you want to give me more information, that's appreciated. If you like what someone says, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like it, propose your own suggestion. Maybe someone will vote for that. Whichever one gets the most votes, that's what we'll come back and do. But until the next episode,
Thanks for watching.